that I started dressing this way about a decade ago was because there was a lot of research that told me if I could reduce choices I didn't care about, I could keep all of that creativity for things that I did. This critique is also the closest we get to understanding that John and his disciples have a practice of prayer and fasting. They seem to have a very rigorous routine that perhaps Jesus' disciples are looking at with some envy. Now, maybe you think to yourself, well, why would anyone ever want a rigorous practice of prayer and fasting? That seems like not great. I think, though, deep down, all of us, we want a good rhythm. Now, I know you know this about me. I especially like a good rhythm. I get up every morning. I put on one of my 2 pairs of jeans. I then grab 2 socks from my drawer of all the same socks. I put on a black t-shirt from my stack. And if it's a weekday, I put on my gray hoodie. If it's a weekend, I put on my gray button-up shirt. I get a haircut every 6 months, whether I need it or not. I sit at my desk all day Wednesday and I write. And I drink coffee on Thursday and meet with people from the community every single week. I like to get up every day knowing exactly what I'm going to do that day. It just feels great. You, however, may not enjoy any of that. It doesn't sound great to you, which is fine, by the way. Being boring is not a spiritual gift. It's fine. It's just me. However, I do think a lot of us enjoy predictability in our lives. In fact, I know that because psychology tells us how important predictability is for all of us. From an evolutionary standpoint, the unexpected means danger. And so when things are consistent, when the environment feels predictable around us, our brains are actually wired then to slow down, to conserve energy in times of low anxiety. Friendships and relationships that are predictable and stable, that's when we feel safe to open up and tell someone about ourselves. Routines that we know, even as something simple as your morning routine, or honestly, coming here to church and having a liturgy, that reduces our mental load by reminding us we don't have to figure everything out. Some things are already known. In fact, the whole reason that I started dressing this way about a decade ago was because there was a lot of research that told me if I could reduce choices I didn't care about, I could keep all of that creativity for things that I did. Now, by the way, if you like fashion, that is a beautiful thing to put your creativity into. So keep doing that. The world would be very unfun if we all wore gray shirts every day. That's fine. My point here is, imagine someone came along and told you, hey, you can pray a certain way, or you can attend a particular church, you can listen to a very specific preacher, and all of your questions will be answered. You will never have to wonder about the divine again. Do this, and you will know you're standing with God. Do this, and you can be assured of your salvation. Follow these simple principles, and you too can have the confidence of a child with a permanent marker in a freshly painted room. Now, that sounds naive, to think that a formulaic prayer could ever get us there. But the thing is, if you can turn that corner, if someone can sell you that idea, that's an incredibly compelling offer. And so that's what the disciples want here. They're not dying for more rules. They're searching for more structure to reduce their mental load. It's their version of my gray shirts. And to them, at least, it seems like from the outside, John is offering that to his disciples. Do this and you will live. What's fascinating to me is that Jesus seems to both understand that desire and yet still be entirely aware of its limitation. So he offers his friends a prayer that they can pray. One we recite here at Commons for all the same reasons that they did, the same reasons Christians have been doing this for thousands of years now. But he also follows it up with a story that refuses to allow the recitation to be the end of that conversation. That's profoundly insightful, I think,